Yeah, man, you gotta fight it out. You gotta fight it out. Seahook, huh? Kind of unfortunate that this pack is so blue. Like, the best cards in the pack in order are like Sea God's Revenge, Nessian Asp, Voyage's End, then like Disciple and Nimbus Naiad are close. I bet it's Naiad and then Disciple. So it's like first, third, and fourth best cards are all blue, which is unfortunate. What Sea God that is? Sea Gods is best in a blue-green deck, so that's what I'm going to be looking for, but I'm not necessarily going to force it. Like here, I think that the Asp is probably the best card, followed by this thing. Um, if it like in a vacuum, but I'm actually going to take the Nimbus Naiad because we could still be blue white, blue black, blue red. Even though this is best in blue green, it's not only good in blue green. You know, in blue green it's a 10. In blue red it's an 8. In blue white it's a 9. In blue black it's a 6. Ordeal of Erebos. Yeah, Ordeal probably the best card. Um, Once again, unfortunate. Sip is probably the second best card. But we sent like a bunch of green stuff. Now we're sending like some more green stuff and one black thing. So hopefully they'll stay out of our way if we go blue black. What's up, people? I wish that my chat was up so I could like welcome everyone as they're coming in instead of just like popping up the chat every once in a while. So Tormented Hero is a card that is pretty sweet with Ordeal. It's like a fine card, right? It's not great, but when you have an Ordeal, it goes way up. When you have a Nimbus Naiad, it goes way up because not only because it's a heroic, because the heroic ability is not that great, but because this is like an aggressively stanced card, and this acts as reach and is way better in an aggressive deck. And you know how I said blue black is like the archetype where this is the worst? The worst being like still a 6 out of 10 is what I think I said, 6 or 7. The more aggressively stanced you are, the better Sea God's Revenge is going to be. If you're really grindy, then bouncing all their guys isn't going to do anything, so they just like recast them over the next 2 turns and you're right back where you were. But when you can capitalize on the tempo advantage it gives you, that's when it's good. And you can capitalize on the tempo advantage the more aggressive you are. Whew, that was a mouthful. Um, Best card in the pack is this thing, followed by God's Willing. Vaporkin third, Lash fourth. I'm going to take Vaporkin. Lash is fine, but I'm not going to take it over Vaporkin. First of all, just on power level alone, Vaporkin's more powerful than Lash, but also because we're aggressively oriented, or we're trying to slant our deck more aggressively, and Vaporkin does that a lot better than Lash will. And obviously, curving Tormented Hero into Vaporkin is sweet, and Vaporkin is sweet with Ordeal. Words. Same idea, 2-drop. This thing's going to be hard to beat. That's true for all aggressive decks. What's the chat have to say about my nonsense? I explained it, dude. Because even though it's better in blue-green, you don't necessarily have to be blue-green, so it's better to stay open. Oh, thank you. Blue Spider, I agree with that sentiment, but I think that it's still quite good. And this early, you can slant your deck more aggressively to use it. Like, I took Ordeal third, so it's still good. Yes. Great Merchant is certainly the best common in the set. I'm taking this thing, sorry. I thought that was very obvious in my head, but I probably could have explained it. Here's kind of a crossroads, like, Scourge Mark is good when you're more aggressive, and I just took this thing. But Sip is definitely better. I'm actually going to take Sip and maybe not even play it. I'd say I'm like 75% to play it. There's a decent chance I don't play it, just because Scourge Mark is replaceable and we can get more of them, or, more deals or whatever. The Sip is like pretty irreplaceable. A little surprised to see this wheel. Again, it's not aggressively oriented, but I think it's better than Cure by enough. Oh, my back. Like if you go aggressive start and then coercion, it's pretty hard for them to beat. And Cure's not actually that great, just saying. This is a card that I actually like. I'm going to talk about Lost in the Labyrinth for a second. Actually, I'm going to blow my nose because I need to do that. But then I'm going to talk about Lost in the Labyrinth. See, I am wearing pants. Alright. Simon Hopes is a totally fine card. Usually don't main deck it, but I've main decked it before in like Hollywood, but mostly sideboarded against like the big green decks. I'm gonna hide it, but remember that I have it because I like to lay out my curve. I don't want a Stymied Hopes locking up my 2-drop slot. I promise I will not forget to talk about Lost in the Lab. I'll probably talk about it in deck building, or if we get another downtime between picks. So much learning. Swans are mean. Yeah, man. King knows. Big King, the King Crown. Ugh. This pack is insane. Holy crap. Look at this. Like, Blamish Rare. This thing's totally fine. And then, awesome card, awesome card, awesome card, awesome card, awesome card, awesome card. Pretty good card. Pretty good card. Ugh. If Keepsake weren't here, I would just very easily take Voyage's End and move on with my life. But Keepsake is so damn good. I think I might have to take it even though it doesn't fit with what we're doing. It's just the power level is so high, I have to take it. I was about to say I hope this tables, but then I looked at the rest of the pack and holy crap, we might be taking it now. Look at this shitty pack. This thing's obviously unreal. People still don't respect this card. How long has this set been out and people still think this card's like only okay? This card is fantastic. The rest of this pack is just garbage. This thing's fine, this thing's usable, this thing is good but green black. I should just take the Scryland over it. 99, get in my deck. Much better than this thing. I would say that this thing is better than any of these though. Kind of want to get a Boon. Boon is like pretty good in this deck. They go pretty late. Crushing Waves. Again, not ideal in blue-black, better in blue-white. But the more aggressive the stance you are, it's good, and you can get stuff for it like Scourge Mark Boon. We have one ordeal. Oops, there's no lemons open. How do I feel about Raptor? This thing, it's good. It's or not good. It's fine. I play it a lot as like my 24th card in Hollywood, but I don't think it's better than Triton here. 2-drop that is. Let some other fool fall into this trap. This card's sweet though. Another Crossroads. 3-drop versus 5-drop. That's way better, but almost double the mana. You take Aqueous Form also, but I'm not super into that. I mean, even though it's something that targets this, like, oh, now you have an unblockable 1-power guy, destroying every turn is fine, but not worth the investment of a card at the risk of getting 2 for 1. Um, like, if I want to give something evasion, I'll just bestow this onto it, you know? I guess I just take the Prescient Chimera. Ooh, this thing's sweet. If you're racing in the air, it holds down the fort, and it also, you know, attacks for 3 on occasion. It's been known to attack for 3. It has a reputation for occasionally attacking for 3. Take this and hide it immediately. Could also cack this thing, I guess. I think it's more likely we find a use for this than play against whoever has this. They board it in against us, draw it, and it wins them the game. For the people that I guarantee are in the chat saying I should have taken Aqueous Form. Not too many. Chimera over Form over 2/3. I agree. But anyway, yeah, we get an Aqueous Form anyway. Boom. I guess I take an Amulet. Maybe if you need to splash a Disenchant or something. Obviously, I'm not going to put this to use. I could have. I guess if I get 5 Ordeals, I might play it. 4, I don't even think I play it. 3, I definitely don't. Another 2-drop. It's going to be really unfortunate when like I get into a late game situation where I just need like, you know, one more hit with my flyers or whatever, and they kill some random dude, and it just taps my team, and they alpha for the win. That's gonna suck. Hey, we got this thing. Ooh, I can also Triton. Now I'll take the flyer. I actually like um, Triton in these decks, in just like as a blue card, because you can play like one, like in blue white, you can play like the white red temple, or you can just play unknown shores or whatever and make it work. And like actually activate it. Like I've done that many times. Alright, hide Amulet, hide Lost in Labyrinth, but don't forget that we have them. Look at this pack. This thing too. Another one of these, which went like 9th last pack. We're probably gonna wheel this, which is sweet. I think the first Shipwreck Singer is better than the second Sea God's Revenge. I think that that's true. Especially because we're gonna have 2 of these guys. Like we have one and we're wheeling this. And it's really sweet to like play this and then like play, you know, 3-drop maybe, maybe not. And then turn 4, like play this and make this guy suicide into your 3/3. It's a really sweet curve. Yeah, that happened. Another Asp. This thing's just unbeatable. We need like a Grip Tide and a Voyage's End. How about that? Both. I want both. God damn it. What? Why is this happening to us? We have this awesome, like, well, not awesome, but we have the start to some, tempo-y, aggro-y stuff, and then we open this, and then we kind of lean back more towards being aggressive, and then we get past this. You just have to Medusa, right? What am I going to take, a Blood Toll Harpy? Yeah, I mean, I guess like a bunch of these are getting cut, and then I'll probably still play Ordeal and Vapor Kid in my control deck. It's fine, right? Well, this thing is pretty awesome, but I think Brain Merchant is better for what we're doing. Well, rare. Can't beat this card. This card's actually like very sweet. I actually don't know which is better. Gary for the win. Well, thank you, Oligarchy. I like your screen name. Yeah, I guess we just have to Gary. This card's so good. A bunch of more awesome cards we can't play, and then a Scourge Mark. So I guess we get a Scourge Mark after all, which is fine. We have like a couple of evasive dudes and two of these things. Not super happy about it, but it is what it is. Hey, we get one anyway. G's. Double G's. Triple G's. Wow, these packs are insane. I've chowed before and I will chow again, but um, I'm having computer issues at the moment, so all I can do is watch. Eidolon? No way. It's Emissary or Marauder, right? I think it's just Emissary, period. But I think I would take Marauder over Eidolon here. Maybe not. Maybe since we're more controlling now, you're supposed to Baleful. But either way, I'm taking this. Anyone who says otherwise is silly. This thing's also pretty fine. Doesn't really play the backside, but it's obviously good with this thing, and you know, for being aggressive. I should start like timing people out for the sentence MJ thinks. Like that's fine, but I'm not MJ. Like MJ's good, and I respect his opinion, and I watch his stream, but like he makes outlandish, like hyperbolic statements that don't actually have bearing in reality, but are like based on contextual factors in his given situation that have nothing to do with the situation that people bring it up in my chat. Freeport's hold is like fine because we have these two, but I'm just gonna take another one of these, I think, because I don't want to play this thing, and I don't necessarily need to play this anymore. Yeah, super late is expected. I guess we just cack it here. Is Soldier worth anything? It's probably worth like a buck. Yeah, why not? Maybe I'll need it for someday. Not the biggest fan of the hippo, so I think I'm just gonna cack this thing. What am I more likely to board in, this or this? Probably this. Yeah, like you don't actually pitch cards to it. It's just like the threat that you could pitch cards to it that's valuable. It's just like a huge blocking deterrent. Oh, I have no opinion, or at least not one that I'm willing to express. Lamphead is very bad. Yeah, I was thinking of playing one and sideboarding the other. Add horsefish. Add horsefish. Yeah. I definitely was not attacking Mr. Betterskull, and he knows that, I'm sure. More likely to board in 80 cards than either. You must not watch my stream very much. I sideboard very ambitiously and very heavily and very often. When is the blue hair making a return? I was actually considering. I'm getting my haircut sometime this week, and I was considering going color. I'm not sure if I'm going blue again, but I was thinking of dyeing it. Word. All right, let's build this deck. Enough yapping. Let's put the bad horses over here. Bad horse, bad horse. I saw somebody call this thing bad horse in stream chat, and I love it. So good. He's the thoroughbred of sin. Just look at him. Alright, this thing probably Scourge Mark, probably at least one Lamphead. Not playing this thing. You double click. If I'm playing all these expensive cards, I'm probably playing sick. Probably not Aqueous Form. I still haven't talked about this, but I will. Get in there, get in there. You too, you get in, you get in. Right. One of these and a Scourge Mark. I'm probably playing at least one Steed no matter what. So let's get that in there. Then we have decision time. You even played this thing over Steed. I was really worried about his ability. Plus it's castable. But I have a couple Black Devotion things. Never mind, that was stupid. Black Devotion is more important. So I have Disciple and Grey Merchant. You want it to curve into your Disciple. If you want to have something in place, you can get him for 3 on turn 4, or 4 on turn 4, ideally. Cheetah pattern? No thank you. No one's even talking about MJ, right? Blue hair. I've done bright red before. Have you seen my bright red hair? I don't know if there are pictures anywhere. They're probably in the Star City archives if they aren't on my Facebook. James Baxter's pretty good, but no, he would be bad horse for sure. I will. I have not forgotten yet. Wait. Look at my amazing blue-black deck. 17 creature, probably 19 creature blue-black deck. Probably actually want to play 18 since I have double Gorgon, Galgan, Gang. Which is sweet because this one, being Gorgon combos with this one. I also have like a billion bestow guys. This activation. I guess I have a cycler. That's it. Yeah, I probably want 18, right? Thanks, Millsy. I board in Stymied Hopes a lot. I don't main deck it really ever. Oh, that was a weird glitch. I will talk about it soon. You hate 18? Yeah, I feel like this is the case. Not necessarily like these. Neither of these cards are unbearably bad. I could easily play both of these in 17. Just have this be a plan B. Would be like slightly more aggressively stanced. But I could also play one of them or neither of them in 18. I'm gonna play this in 18. Since this is sweet on this. I don't really have much else to put on. Put it on though. Lampad 18. I don't mind Lampad 18. Maybe Fleshmad 18 is better. Since I already have such a huge top end, I don't need another 6. I don't necessarily need another 2 either, but if they're trading cards for Fleshmad Steeds, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And it's probably evenly split, right? A little slanted towards black. Remember that. Oh, this thing didn't table. I didn't realize that at the time. It's kind of tilting. Yes, I lean towards black. Not that much, though. 10-7-1. Game on. 9-8-1. Probably 9-8-1. Oh, wait, let's add this island. Alright. Game on. Card. Game on. What's up, fun hater? Nice screen name. Funny voice, not really my thing. I already have a funny voice. I don't need to make funny voices. You are welcome. I might post this on YouTube actually. This has been like hardcore strategy stream rather than goof off and shoot a shit with the chat since yeah, the chat's broken. Or not chat, but the my monitor's broken. So I can't do like display screen and then like chat plus XSplit, which is what I normally have, because my monitor is actually broken. Well, one drop, two drop, but they're not the most aggressive cards. Although it is a little disappointing that I kept a really slow hand on the draw and use an aggro deck. But I'm going to play this swamp and then pretend to think for a second, though. Hopefully convince him not to, like, Chosen of Heliod this or something. I was going to say Ordeal, but if he had Ordeal, he'd probably cast it last turn instead of this. My shoulder is better. My back is what's bad now. Creature. That's awkward. It's going to be pretty hard for him to get through this, though. What do we do with this scrolling? Bottom? Alright. I don't know. I always check. Sometimes it's relevant, but most of the time it's, especially in the early game, it's like you put it on top. Ooh. Because, like, maybe it's a land, maybe it's a spell. You know, you don't know what the texture of his hand is, and which is necessarily the one that he's keeping, and if it matters. But then the flip side of that is, like, late. If they put something, you know, if you're in the top deck war and they scry and they put it on top, you're like, alright, he's drawing a spell next turn, so you can play differently. Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, Dragon Mantle, this is good because this means that he believes that I have Pharika's Cure, or at least believed. And was, I mean, it's possible he just drew Mantle, but I think that it's more likely that he had it and didn't want to cast it into Cure. 5 lands for the Hollywood deck is not where you want to be. This guy's also not great. Neither of these cards are all that great in Hollywood, if I'm being honest. This is unfortunate because this is Divine Verdict. So I guess I block here. Semi-force him to use it, or at least entice him to use it. Back. Yeah, I kind of don't want people using some of these slams, but I can't not use it myself. This is interesting. Titan's Strengths. He made this attack with just Titan Strength? I don't buy it, but at the same time, I don't know if there's anything I can do about it yet. So I'm just going to let him 1-for-1 me. What did he scry? Bottom. Alright. I bet it was a land. This thing is actually like a huge threat, which is unfortunate. So now I wish I pitched this thing so that he did his other trick instead of casting this. If he had shown me this card in his hand, I would have played it differently. But there's no way to tell that he had this in his hand because he would have played it on a bunch of different earlier turns. Like he very clearly just drew this. It's just an unfortunate situation there. Lead with this thing. Hope to not get run over. 6 lands doesn't usually mean anything. That's fair enough. This kind of smells like he has Spear. Normally these decks don't play cards like this. So he's gotta, not gotta, but he likely has a reason. Gary showing up is nice. I want to play this so that I can either Monstrosity at next turn or have 3 more Devotion next turn, because I'm going to play this before. Yeah. Danny, take a step off your soapbox there, buddy. Beetle Maka. You on you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Block here. I mean, it's likely he has a trick from that Titan Strength turn. Remember, I kind of surmised that it was likely he had another trick. But, like, my guy has Death Touch, so I'm getting the trade anyway. I don't really want to take a million fire breathing damage. And if he's using his trick here to kill Gorgon, then he's not using it here to save Hoplite. And those are the reasons I'm making this block. This really is educational hour. Ah, it's a verdict. All right. Oh, it is Valor. Okay, I was gonna say verdict doesn't make sense for that other thing, for that other turn, because he tapped down to 3 mana. But I don't want to say that I can read minds and that I'm psychic over the internet, but at least he bought him, so I don't know what that means. Not like we can draw anything. Athonia the Cruel doesn't even do it. Play this, trade with this, take a million, yeah. Alright. Well, at least, I mean, he drew like 6 lands with the 6 drop and all spells. And they matched up pretty well against us, so not too surprised we lost that. Boarded some defensive creatures. Yeah. This thing is not great. Sip is actually not that good either, but I guess I keep it. He didn't have like any real natural removal, so plus man speed's probably still fine. I think I still want the Vaporkin, because it enables this thing, and I'm sure he has flyers. Although they're probably like Pegasus, which I don't really want to trade with anyway. I guess Pegasus is fine to trade with, or the Wings Seed Rider, which he's never going to trade with in reality. Yeah, maybe Vaporkin is no good. Shields up. Let's play control. Auto player. No, this isn't the matchup for the -3/-0. The thing about the -3/-0 is I have to organize my thoughts for a second. It's not just blanket good against an aggressive deck. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I'm going to use the restroom. I think this is how I want to board. This guy's like fine, but I think this thing's better. I'll let you guys look at my hand. Yeah, I'm keeping. It's like freezing in my apartment. Not like the mulligan, thank you. I mean, it's not the best hand, but 3/4 on the play is fine. Plus, I have the scry land and a million 2 and 3 drops. Autismo, Weibo. No, please. I can't with the Animal Planet right now. I can't even see my chat half the time. Right, this is aggressive and a little scary because it means probably like Ordeal coming down. Not now with the dog show. I can't. I can't deal with the Animal Planet. Ronnie can't deal with it either. Wow, no Ordeal, just casting. Speaking of Ordeal, I don't really want to cast it into this. It's not like I'm going to wait to bestow this anyway, so I'm just going to cast this. And then probably block. It's like kind of weird because he didn't have a 2-drop last turn, so. But he has to have a 3, right? Plus, I get him tapped out, so I get to get Ordeal down. Yeah. Trade him ups. Bottom discard. Temple too. Top. Alright. Fair enough. Pretty good turn. For him, that is. Scourge Mark. Eh? Good efficient use of my mana this turn. Jesus, come on. What is this? Are you live? Oh man. Oops, not dashboard. That's not what I wanted. I wanted channel. Hey, it's me. Ooh, look at that double chin I got going on from this angle. It's good, right? How do you not F6 there? Dude, I get that you were like taking a leak or something so you couldn't, you know, pass priority on the drain. But how do you just pass priority on the drain and then not pass priority again? That's insane. That's insane to me. Wow, almost 300 people for my test stream? That's pretty good. Oh my god, look at this novel I wrote. Who told me to do this? Off it. Come on, dude. I get that you're mad that I took a leap when I was trying to keep my hand, but... Oh, sigh. Still hasn't passed? This is medium tilting. How do you guys eat a banana? Or how do you open a banana? Are you a top or bottom, is what I'm asking. Is this guy going to hold priority again? I'm going to lose it. I'm actually going to lose it. I can't. I can't deal with this guy. Stem is the handle, and then you do the pinch the monkey way. No grinder dot. I'm getting priority every like minute. I'm obviously connected. Pinch, you pinch the bottom, monkey style. I pinched for a while, but I got over it. I've if you if you'll excuse the pun, the joke, I've evolved beyond it. I've evolved beyond the pinch. I'm just gonna take a minute again for this fucking. All right, here we go. I'm gonna say I got like 6 more triggers this turn, so you gotta fucking prepare your body. Watch this master play executed F6. The old F6 pull up the chat. Does anyone use a knife? I know somebody who I knew them in high school used to not eat a banana like phallically because they didn't like doing that. So they would literally like have like a butter knife and just yeah, isn't that insane? What is going on here? Titan strength to gain 3 life and scry, and it bottomed it. This set must be just like all lands, right? It's like the only thing that makes sense. It's like lands and 6 drops or whatever. I'm not going to play this because I'm just going to bestow it. If that's the makeup of his hand, then Ordeal is real good against exactly that. Ooh, you know what? I should have played this because if he has Verdict, he's going to hold it up so that I don't get the Ordeal trigger. So that I'm not going to be able to attack with this because I want the Ordeal trigger and I want him to keep holding up Verdict. So I should have been able to attack with this. That was a mistake. I should have just cast this, especially because I've sipped this turn anyway. Not that I'm going to sip this necessarily. What? The same play? At least Ordeal's going to hit him now. If he was going to do this, why didn't he upkeep it? I mean, maybe he drew it, but he drew Titan Strength and Battle-Wise Valor back to back, and this is his line? I doubt it. I bet he had at least one of them. So he should have upkeeped it to get the Scribe before the draw. He finally put one on top, at least. I mean, whatever that means. Suit up. Punch you for 9, discard 2. It's a pretty good turn. Land. Yeah, so his last card must be the 6 drop, right? It's the only thing that makes sense. Well, he drew a land. Or his last card was another land. And I would bet it was the 6 drop. Dude, I am just on today. I should just stream all night. I'm just playing like insane. Or at least I'm reading well. I'm not playing insane. I'm reading well. It was very different. Hi there, Sea Hook. A 1, a 2, a 3. It will take a lifetime to undo what you've done today. I want a Fleshman Steed. He casts both these next turn. It's also a creature to pitch to this. I guess that doesn't matter. I was going to say it matters because of the lifelink, but Sip drains anyway. Tomato sauce. Yeah, it's probably right to top that, but who cares? It's like pretty close either way. Not too stressed about it. Just to tilt him. Tilt value is good. Oh, you think you're chump blocking? I will not allow it, sir. Gin and juice. Take a drink. Alright, so that game was weird. To say the least. But that's a good example. No, I guess it's not a good example. Ignore what I said right there when I said it was a good example. I think I am going to board this thing in on the draw. He has like a bunch of combat tricks. He's like pretty good against them. Oh, this is a good opportunity to talk about this card. Alright. So most people just don't even look at this card at all, right? They just don't even see it as a magic card. Well, hold on. Let me figure out how to software first. What do I want to take out for that thing? Oh. 2/2s are so good against him, even if they tap sometimes. It might just be Sip. And he's got like the Ordeal. If he puts that on a whatchamacallit, Winston Rider, I'm gonna want to tap it. Do I just cut this thing? Do I have enough blockers? Alright, I'm willing to... We can also cut a land, since he's aggro and I'm on the draw. I don't hate that, but I also want to make sure I make my land drops. Now I'll just cut this thing. So, no, that's not really how you win the game. What's up, Jay Carver? Get it? Yeah, I'm talking in context. Anyway, the thing about Lost in the Labyrinth is most people don't even consider it a card. Um, like they just don't ever play it or board it in. But I think that it actually is quite good in certain situations. Like I think that actually has quite a few uses. Most of them from the sideboard, um, although I have main decked it before. If you are a deck with a bunch of like Grizzly Bears or 3/2s, like the Hollywood, the blue white heroic deck, it's actually pretty good because the best way, the only way in the format really, is to deal with those is to block them. Besides like Lightning Strike and Magma Jet as like the two cheap removal spells. Um, other than that, you're gonna have to block them. And Lost in the Labyrinth is like a God's Will in there. Um, And then, yeah, against death touch creatures, it's obviously good against the scorpion mainly, and it's also good against it's good against time to feed. It's good against other combat tricks, um, especially like coordinated assault. Um, and its backup, depending on your deck, is actually better than just Scry one. Most people are like, oh, it's like, a third of cycling as its backup plan. But it's actually more than that because if you have guys with purposeful heroic triggers, then you can scry one and get that trigger. What I mean by purposeful is uh, something that's not negated by the neg 3. So, like getting a +1/+1 counter, even though you don't get it on that first attack, you then end step it on their turn or whatever. You get to scry and get to attack with another counter, especially with the Phalanx Leader. Put it on all your guys. What are some other good ones? The green ones are all really good. Um, oh, it's also good with Death Touch creatures. If you have a Scorpion, then they can attack with their 2/2 while they keep their Messian ass back so that you can't trade it, and then you can just block the 2/2, lost in whatever it, lost in the lab it, and then trade or trade the lost for it instead of the scorpion, and keep the scorpion around for the other thing. And what was I talking about before I interrupted myself? Oh, purposeful heroic triggers. So all the green ones that get huge are good for it, as well as the Phalanx Leader. What are some other examples of purposeful hero triggers? Wavecrash Triton. That thing is awesome. Turn 2 Hoplite not as good as the turn 1 Hoplite. Does he have a mantle? That's pretty good. Yeah, being able to tap down a dude in Scry 1 is sometimes worth a full card, for 1 mana. And that's the other thing about it is 1 mana is so awesome in this format because the mana is so tight that being able to do 2 things in a turn is like, as Magic has gone on, it seems like it's gotten more and more relevant, more and more valuable to be able to do 2 things in a turn because the games are so much more condensed. The interactions are so much more time sensitive that anything that costs 1 mana is like way better now than it was back then. Not only because of power creep, but also because it's more meaningful to do things faster, to deploy your cards at a reasonable clip. And Lost in Lab does that really well. I guess that's the end of my rant. Yeah, I mean it's a common that goes really late as opposed to an uncommon that is picked relatively highly. Like often when you're playing like those 14 land aggro decks, which I don't know if you guys partake in, but they're actually very good. Um, Sometimes it's actually difficult to get enough playables to only have to play that many lands. You know what I mean? Like you want to play very few lands, but you can't play anything that costs more than 3. So while you want more playables because you want to make less room for land because you have more room with less lands, but also it's harder to get playables because your scope of what is considered playable is much more narrow. How? What is this attack? Who knows? 4 drop. Fortunate. How do I not just have Riptide? Or Panika? Get up, come on, get down, sit loose. Yeah, take a million. This guy's deck is nice. We didn't see any of these like playable cards in the first 2 games. We saw like a 6-drop and some shitty 1/1s. I'm gonna need a C-hook to get out of this one, I think. Well, the fact that he didn't send with this that one turn when he played the first one of these means it's unlikely he has a combat trick, or at least had one at that point. So I'm gonna play a flyer, see if I can get my block on. I think I'm gonna go 5, 6, 7, 8. Unless something changes, then my plan might as well. Rage? That's gross. Oh, Titan? What the? Well, at least he doesn't get to attack this turn. Is Prometheus? Is that the one that brought fire to humans? Well, now I might have to go 6, 7, 8, 9. Depending on what happens. I like how it tanked on which last land to tap, so it's just obvious I had nothing. Not that he was going to play around anything anyway, but just still do things better than that. Modified turbo sub. I like that. What is this attack? You draw a trick, kid? Or do you just not know how your cards work? I'm gonna be sick. Am I just dead? 5, 6, 7, 6 lethal. That's kind of gross. Who draws that? Let's see. 6. Kill this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because he gets to it. Oh no, I die. Right? He used alphas. 6. Block and kill. And this is lethal. Yeah, GG. What were all these good cards in the first 2 games? Jesus. This guy's deck is actually nice. His deck looked so bad after the first 2 games. I guess he just drew like the terrible half of his deck. Like, besides, this thing's like pretty bad, but every other card he played this game is like premium. And this thing's only okay, but. Yeah, good beats. Prometheus, that is. 2 round 1 losses. Perfect. My comeback stream is complete. Dude, I just never win with black, is honestly what it comes down to. Like, the only black decks I've ever won with were the ones that had, like, triple Gray Merchant before people realized it was the best common. No, I mean, it wasn't a bomb problem, it was just, like, our deck, our deck had a couple holes in it, but honestly, I think it mostly comes down to that being just a really bad matchup. Or a really good pairing for him, I should say. Um, our draws were also a little weird because like we actually had a bunch of defensive cards, and we had hands that were like just good enough to keep. Like they had, like that hand had a 3/4/5 drop and a scry land. Like how do you mulligan that? 3/4/5 drop with enough lands, one of them scries. How do you ever mulligan that? Like you can't, but you're also at the mercy of the top of your deck. Like if you don't draw, your horn turtles, then you can lose. It's that simple. Not saying like we got unlucky or whatever. I mean, it's just like his his deck matched up okay against our deck, but his draw matched up really well against our draw. And that's like half of what Magic is nowadays. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna shut it down. We got this banana peel, so that's good. I have that for reasons. Thanks for watching, guys. This wasn't really a real stream, but I'm actually gonna post it on YouTube because I talked a lot of like in-depth strategy today, and I think that it'd be useful to get up on the interwebs for anybody that likes to draft a lot. But yeah, this was a test stream. I don't have a second monitor right now because I'm actually looking at my second monitor, and you're looking at me through my laptop camera. But my laptop monitor doesn't work as of like 3 days ago. And to do my actual stream, my regular stream, I need 2 monitors. So I'm gonna have to get that fixed or do something. Yeah, I'm not sure. But once I get that fixed, I should start streaming normally again. The test stream seemed to go well. The internet held, and my setup is good, besides this monitor being out. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in the next week or two. Just follow me on Twitch or Twitter, and come visit me when I go live for real. We'll have music, and I'll be able to interact with the chat more in real time and all that stuff. And hopefully, we'll win a match. I don't want to aim too high. We might win a match. Thanks for watching, guys. Good night. Arigato gozaimasu.